Our scripture passage for today is one that is a bit challenging. And that it tells us that it is more difficult for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich person to enter the gates of heaven. And this astounds the apostles. And so, well, their scripture at the time was saying that, it was a prosperity God, that those who do well are blessed by God, and those who do poorly are cursed by God. So this is kind of topsy-turvy to how they believe, what their thought and their opinions, and their what good does it do then to attain all these things? And God says to them, well, there's, understand, you have just said that you've given up everything to follow me, and there's no one who will have given up house and home and family and brothers and sisters, mother and father for my sake, who will not enter the kingdom of heaven. But be aware that those who are first will be last. Those who are last will be first. Humility, again, arises. Humility in the face of God. To be humble, to be quiet. Not quiet in the sense of proclaiming the glory of God, but quiet in the sense of proclaiming the grace of myself. How good I am. Look what I've done. You see, Christ and God knows exactly what we have done and who we are and where we have been. Psalm 139 tells us he knows our coming and our going and knows the words from our lips before we speak them. So God knows all things, and it is to those who embrace the truth and the love of God, who reach out to help our neighbors, not in moments of pride, but in moments of profound humility, who look up to those to whom we are to serve, to recognize those who are in need may not be as in much need as we are, to give them what they need. That's our need. To serve one another. By being the servant, we are reducing who we are and limiting what we think of ourselves, so that we are able to give up our worldly life for the sake of God. I've shared with you before that I discovered the love of my life, true love, when I learned to love God first. You see, I had this great difficulty in loving, God first when I loved the world first. I love my wife, I love my children, I love my home. I had to learn to love God first. And once I've begun to walk on that journey to loving God first, God showed me how to love my wife, showed me how to love my family, showed me how to love my community, showed me how to love fully. And by loving fully, I was able to love with a kindness, a gentleness, and a generosity I never understood before. A kindness and a deepness, a purity that I never understood before. And I recognized that I could love them first. And by loving my family first was because I love God first. He showed me this strange dichotomy that I could love them so much better by loving him first, by putting everything ahead of myself. Was not due to anything other than my loving God first. And I was able to reach these incredible rewards of love that I didn't know. And what got in my way of loving God first was I didn't know what love truly was. I didn't know. And once I began to feel this incredible love of God, this love for God, my heart opened. And this love came out. And then that's when it's easy for me to say, Lord, what are we going to do today? Because the brightness of the day is right in front of me. So I can say hello to my friends at Tom and Belinda and so many more that I can love. And Lord, what am I going to do today? Lord, I'm going to give you a hug. Lord, I'm going to give you a hug by loving those you love.